Okay, let's get started on the setup for this hoodie. First thing you're going to do is import the package that comes with the base, which is called bhoodie, and then you'll go into the new folder, which is Blizz, and then bhoodie, take this one, the one that's the prefab, and drag and drop it onto btiger, and it will pop up right there. So now we need to do the setup for it. So we're going to unpack the prefab, and then unpack the prefab again. And we're going to go into hips HO and drag it onto the hips from the main model. And then we're going to take hoodie and fizzbones, drag those onto btiger, and then delete the hoodie prefab in your hierarchy right there. Now we can open this hips HO that we imported. Drag and drop all of these to their corresponding parts on the tiger bee. So left leg goes to left leg, right leg goes to right leg, and so on and so forth. Once you get to the neck, you're going to skip that. So we're going to go left shoulder, left arm, left elbow, and then skip the neck, go to the right shoulder, right arm, and the right elbow. Now, the last thing is the tail root. So grab the tail root, put it on the tail root of the avatar, and now you can open everything in neck because we need to put constraints on this for the hood toggle to work properly. So click and select everything between neck and ear 1 HO, add component, parent constraint, and add one source. Open the neck, the head, and the ears for the B so you can drag and drop them easier. Then click on neck, drag and drop neck into the source. Same thing for head, drag and drop head. Ear 1 left, or rather ear left, and then ear 1 left. Ear right, ear 1 right. Got all of those set up properly. Okay, cool. So now select everything from neck down to ear again, and press this big activate button, and then we're done with that. So now the constraints are all set up, and we don't need to worry about it anymore. So now we need to do the animations, which if you've just created a new project and you haven't used Unity before, you might not have an animator window open. Go to Window, Animation, Animator, and then that will pop up here. I like to click on the word animator and drag it over into this left panel so I can have it next to my scene. And then another one that's useful to have is animation. And this one I put down here, and if you put it next to console, then it will pop into this window as another one of these where your project console animation are. That's how I typically have mine set up. So now we are going to, the Tiger Bee doesn't have a controller added to it yet, so we're going to add the one that's BFX. That's the default. We'll remove it before upload, but this way we can actually preview our animations. And you can see now there's the layers for that animator popped up here. We need to add the ones that come with the hoodie. So we can go to animations, the hoodie controller, and first thing we're going to do is copy the parameters. So we need hoodie, hood as booleans. So let's go back to this one, parameters, add boolean. We're going to need 2 booleans and 2 floats and 2 more booleans. And the first 2 booleans are going to be hoodie and hood. And these are case sensitive. So then we're going to have string L underscore stretch is one of the floats. The other one is string R underscore stretch. And then we're going to have, for the other booleans, string L underscore capital I is grabbed. And string R underscore is grabbed. Now we've got all of the parameters that we're going to need, and we can start copying over the layers. So if I click on hoodie controller, go to the hood toggle layer, don't hit A or Control A will, or Shift A. I thought there was a way to select everything. But anyways, the shortcut won't select the transition, so it's best to highlight everything. And then right click, actually Control C. Control C, then go back over to the B Tiger one, make a new layer, and that was for the hoodie. This for the toggling the hoodie on and off. And we can go in here, paste, select these two, and I just like to make it more organized. Right click, weight, and set as layer. Layer as default. That way it goes from here to here, and from there to there. And if you want to double check, you can see that the conditions were already pulled over for hoodie true and hoodie false since we made our parameters before. So now we're going to make another layer, and this one's going to be hood. And set the weight to 1. I skipped over that on that, but hit the little settings cog, set weight to 1. And then go back to hoodie controller, go to hood toggle, select everything, Control C, back over here, hood, Control V. And then hood on, set layer as default state. And we're gonna go to, back to, actually let's add this one is the hood contraction. Is controlled by the stretch parameter for the strings that we have. Go back over to the hoodie, the contract hood, and select everything. Control C, go back into the B Tiger, go to the hood contraction layer, paste everything, select these three. For organization's sake, I move them over here, and set weight as your default state. And now that is set up as well. So that is all the animations, and I believe if I've done everything correctly, I should be able to preview it. So let's toggle off the hoodie and the fizz bones. Okay. The scene instead of the game up here. So you can move down to where you can see what you're doing. Go to parameters, check hoodie. The hoodie comes on along with the fizz bones, uncheck it, it disappears. Having hood toggle on, your hood is on. When it's down, it will just be attached to the chest. When it's on, it will follow your head, which is why we used constraints earlier. If you stretch the strings, it will pull it. Let me see if I can. Okay, so in VRChat, it won't be breaking like this, but since it is tracking the stretch of that fizz bone, it is continuously resetting to 0 because they're not pulled right now, but that is functioning. In-game, it will work when you pull on either of the strings. The last step to this is to grab the menus to set up your VRChat menus. So if you click on B Tiger, you can go down over to your pipeline manager and the parameters, and that will take you to this folder where your parameters list are. You need to add the hood and the hoodie parameters. You don't need to add any of these because they're all tracked locally, but you want to add 2 booleans and have them be hoodie and hood. Again, case sensitive, they need to be exactly the same as how you have them labeled over here. And you want them to be synced so that other people can see it. My default for the hood is on. That way when you turn it on, you'll be wearing the hood. If you have this off, then when you first put on the hood will be off by default. Saved means that when you change worlds or avatars, it will stay in the state that it was previously. If you don't have these checkmarked, then it will just reset to being off or at its default state every time you change worlds or change back into that avatar after being in a different one. So I prefer to have these saved for all of my clothing toggles. Now we need to set up the actual menu to use those parameters. So if you get a B menu right here, then you're going to add 2 controls. One of them is going to be the hoodie. Change this to toggle, parameter, hoodie. And this one is going to be hood, toggle, parameter, hood. And then now those will be options in your Tiger B menu or if you have your own custom stuff, I'm sure you would be able to apply this and make it all fit what you already have. So that's ready to use. Enjoy.